So, welcome everyone to my channel, and this video is about making a launch configuration using Terraform. So, creating a launch configuration in AWS is pretty much simple if you do it with an infrastructure as a code tool like a Terraform. But if you do the same thing from the console, even that is easier, but it tends to have, or it is prone to have the errors if the manual interventions are into it. So, let's get going and let's create our AWS launch configuration using Terraform. All right. So I'll just need a browser to open my AWS account. And all right. So my AWS account is already logged in. I'll quickly go to the EC2 and I'll just show you like the approach that how do we create a launch configuration. So whenever we create a launch configuration or any resources in AWS or anywhere in the cloud, and if you want to use an infrastructure as a code tool like Terraform, so the first and foremost thing that we should be aware is that we must be knowing that how to create it using the console. So let us see that how we are creating it using the console. So if I just come down in here and if I go to auto scaling loops, I can find the launch configuration. But since I have not created any auto scaling as of now, so I'm not seeing it here, but you will be seeing it here. So let us search for launch configuration and I got it here. So, and also the launch configuration getting retired soon and we are replacing it by the launch template, but we still needed lots of infrastructures are still running a launch configuration. So let us try to create a launch configuration. So no launch configuration found in this region. So if you want to create a launch configuration, the first thing you should have is an AMI. And if you need an AMI, before that, you must have an instance. So let us quickly create an instance and then we can have an AMI for it. So I'll just go and launch an instance, demo instance, and I'll select Ubuntu and t2.micro. I'll name or create a new key pair and I'll name it as Virginia and I'll just create it. All right. So the launch pair, the key pair is created. I'm allowing SSH. And after that, nothing else. I'll just go ahead and I'll click launch. The security group will automatically be created. And let us go ahead and let's see how the the instance is getting ready. So here is our instance, which is ready, almost ready. Meanwhile, I'll quickly go to the actions and I'll go to instance settings, image and template. I'll have to wait for some time to create the image because it's still in the pending state. I can do it from here as well. If I come here and if try to create, okay, there's no option here. All right, so coming to the instance and all right, it's in the running state. And if I go to actions, image and template, if I click on create image, I can demo image. All right, so nothing, um, just the basics one. I'll just create the image. I'm trying to keep it as simple as it can be. So the instance image is created. Now we will be able to create the launch configuration. So I guess the AMI is still under creation. And if I come to the AMI, that is Amazon Machine Images. Is it ready? Oh, it's in the pending state. It takes some time to create it. So before that, I'll try to gather some information for you. So the first thing we'll search is anything that you want to create. You just need to search for it. For example, auto scaling, or we are going to create launch configuration. Launch configuration, AWS. Just add a Terraform to it. Okay. It will automatically pop up. And here is the details for it. So you need this, the provider thing. All right. So before that, let us check that if our AMI is ready or not. It's still in the pending state. I'll refresh it. So before that, I'll go ahead and I'll make my file ready. So I'll just open this and I will create a new folder, maybe on desktop, and I will name it as, for example, launch configuration. Launch configuration. And I'll just open it. Fine. Meanwhile, I'll make some basic files that are important. For example, main.tf. Then I need outputs.tf. That is an optional, but let's have it. All right. Or we can have it later on. In the beginning, I just need a main.tf. So any Terraform file, if you want to create it, the first thing you need is a provider. So I'm going to go straight down to my provider and I'm just going to copy it. So you can get the provider details on top of this page, no matter what you are creating, whichever cloud it is related to, the provider will automatically pop up over there and we'll just copy it and we'll just paste it over here. And then we need to enter the configuration. I'll enter the region equals to, for example, I'm going to create it in US East 1, that is the North Virginia region. That's where we created our instance, the key, and the AMI. Plus the security group was, of course, created automatically. So this is ready. Now we can just close it. Okay, let's come down and let us get the basic template for it. Okay, that is this one. Okay, AWS launch configuration. Let us paste it over here. Okay. Now our configuration is here. So what are the basic things that are needed? Name, image ID, instance type. We need security group. I'll just show you why do we need security group. We need a key pair as well. And I think these are the 5 things that we need. Name, image ID, instance type, and security group. It's a list of objects, and then we can have the key name. Okay. Let us now head back to our image AMI, which is available now. Very well. So if I refresh this, I am still not able to see the option to create a launch configuration. And I don't know why I'm not able to see the migrate an existing launch configuration to launch template. No longer is it not allowing me to create a launch configuration. EC2 console is no longer supports creating new launch configuration. It's straight away writing over here. But I think I can still create it. There must be an option. Console to code. Okay, so this is where I can maybe try something. For example, see, whenever you create a launch configuration or a launch template or anything as I did, we just need to know what are the things that are needed. So, validated, all right. So let's see, is it is all about supporting launch configuration, etc. Instance type release on external new accounts created for. Okay, new accounts created after 31st May 2023 will not be able to create new launch configuration via the console. All right, via the console, that means we can create a launch configuration via the Terraform. So let's just do it. So I'll come here and I just need to show you a demo. I have an old ID. Let me show you that old ID. And all right. So you see, whenever you create a launch configuration, what are the things that you need? So you see, these are the things you need. The first thing is name, of course, and then you need an AMI for which exact AMI you are going to create it. Then you need an instance type, like that instance type will be what, like t2.micro or m5.extralarge, whatever the instance type you need. And these are the optional steps. Let's skip it for now. Storage will automatically come, seeing the AMI which we're using. Of course, you can add a new volume to it. That's up to you. Security groups, you can assign the security groups to it. And the key pair. If that launch configuration is going to be created, so which key pair will be attached to it? Okay, so 5 things. Let's count it on: name, AMI, instance type, security group, and the key pair. 5 things, right? So name, MS ID, that is AMI ID, instance type, security group, and the key name. 5 things. There we go. All right. So let us make this. So name, let's keep it as web config. Image ID, I will go in my account and I'll get an image ID from here. So this is my AMI ID. I'll just copy it and I'll just paste it. Okay. Now instance type is t2.micro. Very well. Security group. I can go ahead and I can just copy any security group that I have already in my console. Let's not take the default one. I'll take this one. I'll paste it here. Maybe I can add one more, but okay, let's add one more. Let's add the default one also. So if I take this one, so pasting it here. Key name, Virginia, Virginia. All right. So before proceeding forward, we will like to verify that the details in the way we have entered are they correct or not. So how we can verify it? If I go here and if I check it, for example, let us check it, some more examples. Okay, see the image ID they have given in the form of they are taking it from the data. But what if I want to take it from directly the AMI ID? So if I come in the image ID, require this image ID to launch. Okay, this will work fine. And the last thing that I wanted to check was the key name. The key name that should be used. Okay, it's an optional step, but okay, fine. So we are all set, and let us go ahead and try to check it. So before we do anything, I just need to do Terraform init, but I will configure my AWS first. AWS configure, and I need an access key and a security key. I mean the secret value. Let's just go ahead and quickly create a security credentials for me. And if I come here in my access key, and one more thing, I'm using my root account, which is not advisable. We should never use a root account because if your root account is hacked, then you are prone to lose your account and a lot of other stuff. So you always create an IAM account and then work under that account. That is the safer way to work in. Okay, it's set. Now I'll get the screen and I'll just do Terraform init. Okay, so this will just initialize the Terraform in my disk directory, that is launch configuration. So whatever version that I have given here, it will download those plugins, providers, libraries, and the AWS provider will, of course, be downloaded. Now, if I just do Terraform plan, it might throw me some error, but let's see. So plan is basically a dry run. So it is telling me that, okay, these are things that is, okay, 5 things we have to check. The image ID is going well, very well. Key, the key, I mean, the instance type, 3, the name, 4, and the security group, very well. 5, so I just need to hit Terraform apply. I can enter auto apply also, auto accept, but that's not recommended. So this will take hardly 10 seconds, maybe. Yeah, even less than that. So your launch configuration is ready, which was not allowed to be created on the console, but we anyways did it using the infrastructure as a code. And there we go. We have our launch configuration ready. So of course, we can maybe, this is the most simplest way to create a launch configuration using the Terraform. We can of course do a lot of other stuffs, like we can variabilize it and we can make other files to it. I mean, I have hard-coded the values. So for example, if you want to maybe not give the name directly, then what you can do, you can just create, I'll just do it quickly, variables.tf, and you can just create some variables over here, for example. And if you're creating variables, definitely you need Terraform.tf vars. So let's take some values. So let us, for example, give all this value as a variable. Let's not take all, let's take the name and the key name. Okay, name and key name. Okay, now I will try to create some variables for it. So for example, let me give name as var.name, and key name I'll give was var.key name. Same, that will avoid the confusion. So I need to define those variables. That is name, of course. Okay. Now if I come down, I'll define one more variable, that is key name. Now let's give some default value. For example, the name can be, this can be my name. So I'll give it like this. And type is a string. Similarly, so if I give the key name, so key name can never have a default value, or it can have if you're working in the same region. So let me give as Virginia only. You can have some other key that you want that this can be a default key. So let me give Virginia. So I think that's it. This will not give, if I do apply, it will, I mean, say everything's same because we have not made any changes. Okay. But for example, if you change the name, it will destroy it and it will recreate it. So see, nothing, but what if I change the name? So if I change the name, for example, webconfig underscore new, let's save it, and then let's apply, and this will destroy it and it will replace the existing one with the new name. So you can see it is destroying it by replacing it, and a new will be created. So one to add and one to destroy. So if I do yes, it will take around maybe 30 seconds to create and then destroy and then create. Okay, very well. It is even faster than that. So now our new name will be this. Let me just verify it. So yes, this is the new. So that's how simple it is. We can even make it even more complicated, but that makes it even more simpler. For example, we can create modules and we can work on the, modules. We can create a separate AWS launch configuration module, and you can just call that module and you can have multiple loops running around it, and you can create multiple launch configurations. And let me know if you want me to create a launch template in the same easy way. And all right, so that's all. So thank you so much. That's it. And that's it in today's video. I hope you liked it. And if you want more such content, do subscribe to the channel. Thank you.